here's your entry point. And then once you get your entry point, then you can go forward.
Right, and I think for especially 1Ls who have never taken a law school exam before, it's difficult to emphasize how much pressure they'll be in under that testing circumstance. So to have something as simple as Iraq in your head can really be a guiding light.
I didn't invent that. I mean, that's
that's been around for
a long time, and in some ways, a lot of professors don't like it because they don't want to be thought of as doing formulas. They don't have to use it, but for many students, it's really helpful to know where to start.
Right, and that's something I think in this book also, you emphasize that there are lots of different learning styles. You got to figure out what works for you, and you shouldn't sit down and take an exam for the first time on actual test day. You should be doing practice exams, and that's what you give students in your book.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to think what else that we... And also in the beginning, I know that the anonymous student forms that they fill out at the end, that we fill out at the end of the semester and give you feedback. Did that help shape, has that helped shape the way you teach?
Oh yes, because what the students say, you read very carefully because they're telling you something, and it's been very helpful in this book. We've used it in my class, other professors have used it, they've asked their students to comment on it, and not all are anonymous. A lot of students will send you comments, including corrections, you know, so you're happy to get them because then it improves. And the first time we've used this book first in like offset, and then we actually had it printed and you know, in a sort of a fancy print job that we did, and then finally Aspen came and said, you know, I think we'd like to do this, and so now we have it in this form, which is a form that will be sold around the country.
Right, and it's very rare to find a book that's less than 150 pages, especially for law. So it's not overwhelming by any means for students who are worried coming up. It's exams and they don't really want to read 400-page form book. This is it's really useful. It's really useful. And I also think it's important to emphasize that there's so much that a 1L has on their plate. So to have someone walking you through the process, much like this 147-page book, is great. I wish I would have had this, actually, so I can only emphasize to our viewers, anyone, even if you're a student or a layperson, that this could be of a lot of value to you. Is there anything else you'd like to
No,
comment
I think
on?
that this has been fun. I love talking about it, and students seem to enjoy it, and I'm happy that you liked it.
Yes, I just wish I had it earlier. That can really be the only thing that I have to say about it. I think, and March 2012 it came out. It's available on Amazon now. Is it available in bookstores, law school campuses?
Law school bookstores. Aspen will put it in law school bookstores.
Okay.
But and you can get it online. You go online, it's right there.
Okay. Again, thank you so much for watching. This has been Professor Ross Sandler and his wife Alice Sandler. And this is, my name's Elizabeth D'Antonio, and this is the Media Reporter. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Johan Saline, and this is the Media Reporter. I'm a fourth-year law student here at New York Law School and a member of the Black Law Student Association. The Black Law Student Association, commonly known as BLSA, is dedicated to helping students of color by providing a friendly and supportive environment. Every year, BLSA holds an alumni dinner. At the 10th annual alumni dinner, the keynote speaker was the famous Johnnie Cochran. In the first clip I'm going to show you, Johnnie Cochran talks about the person who inspired him to become a lawyer, the late Thurgood Marshall. Mr. Marshall was not only the first black to serve as a justice on the U.S. Supreme Court, he was instrumental in the famous landmark case of Brown versus Board of Education. Let's take a look.
I'm an unabashed fan of a man I want to talk about tonight. And I want to speak to you from the subject, Thurgood Marshall, as the ideal in the changing state of justice in America. You notice I'm wearing a pin today of Thurgood Marshall. And this morning I was at a LDF meeting. We had our LDF meeting, the Legal Defense Fund meeting this morning. And Thurgood Marshall's wife was there, Cecilia Marshall, and she's a marvelous lady. When I knew at a young age I wanted to be a lawyer. I looked around, and I didn't know many lawyers. I didn't have any role models to look up to. There was no lawyers on television who looked like me, and I didn't really know a lot about lawyers. But when I was in high school, I read one day on May 17th, 1954, about this remarkable lawyer, Thurgood Marshall, who changed America forever. And next year, on May 17th, it will mark the 50th anniversary of probably the most important case in the 20th century in this country, the case of Brown versus the Board of Education, which said finally that separate but equal was wrong, that it would be separate but equal is inherently unequal. And it changed the law. It changed Plessy versus Ferguson forever. And it put us on a path to get us where we can have an integrated setting like this. It made America better than it was. And so very often, when I'm faced with a difficult issue in my law practice, I'll ask the question, what would Thurgood do? And if you ask that question, and if you can answer that question, you will be on the right path very often. So I want to talk to you about this remarkable man. Finally, I want to tell you that last Monday, I think, well, 2 Mondays ago, April 14th, they changed the name of the courthouse down here at Foley Square. It's now called the Thurgood Marshall Courthouse, and that's a remarkable achievement for this remarkable lawyer and a recognition of what you can do. You may come from humble beginnings, but it's where you end up at the end of the day, and he set a standard for all of us to follow. So as we gather here tonight, the greater world around us is in many ways in a sad state of affairs. The globe now turns with an undercurrent of fear. Insecurity abounds, a war just wrapping up in Iraq. Ethnic fighting continues throughout the vast homeland of Africa. Political coups are commonplace all over South America. Japan seems to teeter on a never-ending financial seesaw. Mysterious diseases traverse entire continents. SARS, we see AIDS, hunger, homelessness, and poverty in lands near and far. Meanwhile, here at home, we're thought of as the world's greatest superpower, but have a president who did not truly assume his presidency until September 11th. We have an attorney general who's willing to trade our personal liberties for homeland security. We have an economy that's gone from robust to bust, with disgraceful corporate scandals and obliterated personal savings. Daily headlines are filled with stories of child abductions, wife murders and disappearances, and even Mercedes murders. Now, I bring up these circumstances to remind you of one thing only, now more than perhaps ever before in our history as a nation. The notion of justice is vital to our survival. As minority students, law students, you all are familiar with the life and work of Justice Thurgood Marshall. Well, he was my hero because he stood for nothing if not for justice. Thurgood Marshall knew how he wanted to be remembered, and he explained it in the powerful simplicity that he was known for. Here's what he had to say: that he did what he could with what he had. He did what he could with what he had. For each of us here tonight, let's do what we can with what we've been given. That's my hope for all of us. May you continue to grow as individuals and as a people and give this world what it needs from each of you. If you think of Thurgood Marshall as I do, in your lives and in your work, you will always stay the course on the road to justice. Do that. If you do that, you'll transform this nation into what it is, into what it might be, a shining beacon on a hill that leads the example for the rest of the world. You don't just become a great nation because you say you're great. You become a great nation when all of our citizens have equality of opportunity, when they have a fair shot and a fair chance to go as far as their abilities will carry them. We can't rest till that happens, because I'm telling you, no matter how successful you are, none of us are free until all of us are free. And there are people tonight who couldn't be here tonight. We have to remember those people and make America a better place for them. What would Thurgood Marshall do? He'd fight for those people. We can do no less. Thank you, and God bless you.